What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and finally we're doing another CGC submission. It's been a long time since I submitted some books to CGC because of some of the stuff that was going on there. And to be honest, there's stuff still going on, but I can't wait any longer. I've narrowed it down to 6 books that I'm about to send out tomorrow, Monday, and hopefully I'll get them back within the next month or two, and we'll go through and we'll see what the grades come back at. But this is where we play the game. Let's check out the books and guess the grades beforehand. And then, in a couple months' time, we'll come back and we'll see what they actually came back at. And we're going to hope and we're going to pray for that month or two that they're gone. So let's check out the first book and see what I'm submitting. First one was a book I wasn't sure I was going to submit, but I thought I needed to kind of add books to the submission for this tier level. And it is in an economy tier level that I chose. This is the all-new, all-different X-Men 101. This is the first appearance of the Phoenix. This is a decent-looking copy, not high grade by any means, mid-grade. After going over this book, and I do plan to press it again after this video, I'm thinking this book may come back around a 4.0 to a 5.0. So let's call it a 4.5. There is a crease along this part of the edge of the book, which I'm hopefully going to get most of that out with a good pressing today. There are a few spine ticks along the spine, but other than that, there's a little bit of like a nick here towards the bottom. You could see it. It's in decent shape. The colors are nice. I do think it'll benefit from that press. So like I said, a 4.5 I am hoping for. Wouldn't be too shocked if it came back a 4.0 or a 5.0, but let's be on the conservative side and meet in the middle, and we'll go 4.5. Now, I've been all over CGC site for the past day or two, checking out like, submission time, stuff like that. This, I think, is at 30 plus days. So we'll see what it comes back at. The next book is one I had to send in. There was no doubts in my mind. It is Avengers number 8, the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. And now that we have confirmation from Kevin Feige in the MCU that he is coming, I have to send this into CGC. Going over the book, it is a nice clean copy. It's white, definitely not high grade, and it is kind of hard to see ticks on this white cover, but there are a few on it. But overall, it presents really, really nice. There's not, too much creasing, even though I am going to press this one again myself. I think I pressed it already, but I'm going to do a light press on it again one more time. But the book looks pretty good. You guys let me know what you think. I think this is a bit on the higher grade side. I'm going to call this a 6.0. I think it's got a shot at a 6.5. Could come back a 5.0, 5.5, but I think this looks pretty good. It could definitely benefit from a cleaning, but I don't think monetary-wise it'll bump that much. So I'm going to call this a 6.0. First Kang, Avengers number 8, but a really, really nice looking book and a hot book right now. We'll see what this comes back at because I'm really anxious to see the dollar value for this book. So I'm calling that a 6.0. And I think that's pretty close. So the next two are the same book. So I'm going to show you the one that I think is of the lesser grade first. And this is Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This is the lower grade copy. As you can see right here, there is some staining on the bottom edge of the book. There also is some of the same staining up here. It looks to be some water damage. And there is more long across the spine right here. But its book has definitely seen some better days. This book has already been pressed by me, so there aren't any really pressable defects that I left in there, but there is some spine splits. There is some ticks. The cover is still attached to the staples, but it's kind of like barely hanging on to both of them, but they are still attached. The back is somewhat similar with the staining, stuff like that. I'm going to say that this book is going to come back a 2.5. 2.5. It's still, the colors are still great. There is just a lot of damage to this book because of the water damage and the staining, and it is very fragile. Not crazy fragile, but there is some fragility to it. So there is a little bit of light water staining here, if you guys could see. It's kind of hard to see here. I do have the glare there with the light, but again, this is what I think is the lower grade, and I'm hoping for a 2.5. I don't think you're going to get a higher 3.0. It's a possibility because the colors are really nice, but I think the staining drops it to that 2.5 range. I'm hoping it's not a 2.0. 2.5 is my money point. The next one, like I said, is the same book. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This book, while the colors are still bright, there is a little bit of a, I don't know if you could see it because I'm going to compare the two, a little bit of a fading, a little bit on the Amazing Spider-Man, and it's just enough for me to see it, but I believe this book is in better condition. There is some dirt and scuffing towards the bottom of this book. The spine is definitely in better shape than the other one, although there is a little bit of a split right here, if you could see. Definitely looks good. You can see that the outside part of the book is a little, unflattering. I'll put it that way. But I do think this is a much better solid copy than that one was. Even though I think it's just a little bit better of a grade, we can call this between a 3.0 and a 3.5. I'm going to stick to the low end only because of the staining at the bottom. We'll call it a 3.0, and maybe hopefully we'll get a nice surprise of a 3.5, but I'm going to call this a 3.0. I had on a side note, I had somebody reach out to me on Instagram who I sold a book to possibly 6 months, and we had talked about what the grading was of the book before I had sent it off to them, and we talked about other things going on with the book, and I thought it was a 7.0, and it's Strange Tales First Brother Voodoo. I forgot the issue number, 178 or something like that, or 180 something. I forget the number that book is, but it actually came back. He sent it to CGC. It came back exactly 7.0, so I'm hoping that my grading is getting better. So I have 2 more books to show you guys. This one is a higher tier, so they may come back a little earlier. The first one is Action Comics number 252, the first appearance of Supergirl. Now, this book has a big giant stamp that says paid along the top left-hand corner. I don't think that will affect the grade at all, but there is a little bit of water shading here on the top right-hand corner of the book. It's kind of hard to see. You can see a little bit here. There are some spine creases that you guys could see, but overall this book looks pretty good. Everything's there. The corners are nice and decently sharp for a book that was published in 1959. Anytime you can get this book in any grade, it is definitely a pickup, but this one actually looks pretty good to me. I'm going to call this a 3.0. There is a slight chance that this book can come back lower, possibly 2.5, but I really think a 3.0 is a sweet spot. I did think if it came back lower, it would be a travesty because there aren't that many creases in this book. I did press it myself. There are some color breaks, don't get me wrong, but the colors are nice for it being a great book. It just looks like a 3.0 to me. Like I said, everything's there. The inside of the pages, they look pretty good. There's a little bit of fraying along the top that you can see, but I think this is a 3.0 book all the way. Like I said, possibly a 2.5, but we'll call this a 3.0 for the money book, right? The money spot, that's what we said. And finally, the big book I'm sending in this submission is my Fantastic Four number 5, first appearance of Dr. Doom. Now, this book does have some issues. Again, like the other book, there is some spine wear, some creasing, some ticks. As you can see, top right-hand corner, there's a bit of a chunk out. Along this side, there's a little piece of tape on this cover here and over here. Now, if I go in, I've talked about this before. There's a little bit of substance right here in this book. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's glue. It might be just like a staining of some sort. And there's a little bit right here as well, you can see. Because why would you use glue right there? I have something similar on my Avengers number 1, and that came back blue label as well. Wasn't restored. But like I said, overall, I've talked about this book before, me thinking it was a 2.0. And I'm hoping that is a 2.0. when I submit it. However, there's a shot that this come back lower with the tape, with the chunk, with the creasing along the spine and the substance here. There's a possible, I think this book can come back lower, a 1.5, 1.8. But I've been scouring other books on eBay and other places where 1.0s are coming back in far worse shape than this one looks to me. So we're going to call this book a 2.0, possibly a 1.8. So if it comes back either one of those two, cut me some slack. But this is the big one. This is the money book. This is what we want to come back at the highest grade possible. Well, we're hoping for that 1.8, 2.0. We're praying for a 2.0. But like I said, if it comes back at 1.5, I won't be too disappointed. 1.8, I figured that was probably about what it was going to be. I'm just a little worried about the substance here. I just hope it doesn't come back restored, but I don't think it will. I think this book is good to go. So that's it for my CGC submission, guys. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Like I said, I've been waiting for kind of all the mess that's been going on at CGC to kind of die down a bit. I don't really know if it has, but I didn't want to wait much longer considering the turnaround times and the fact that these books need to be protected. So that's really my only reason. I like raw books. I like having my books raw, but I really need to get these bigger books protected while I can. So that's it for this video, guys. And like I said, a month to 2 months, we'll do 2 videos, one for this first submission, one for the second submission, and then we'll come back and see how I did with the grading. If you guys can, drop in the comments, let me know what you think these books are graded at or what they should be graded at. And this way, when we come back and do those videos, we can talk about what I said, what you guys said, and we'll compare. So that's it for this video, guys. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. And I'll talk to you guys soon.